11 underage workers, 11 minors found working at a dangerous meat processing plant. Put up the picture for mass. When will these companies learn? Investigators found 11 children working dangerous overnight cleaning shifts in a meat processing plant located in Iowa. A cleaning company has been fined $171,000 after federal investigators found 11 children working a dangerous overnight shift at a meat processing plant in Iowa. U.S. Labor Department said in a statement that it found the children working for sanitation company Qvest LLC at the Seaboard Triumph Foods pork factory in Sioux City, Iowa. The children were employed to, quote, use corrosive cleaners to clean head splitters, jaw pullers, band saws, neck clippers, and other equipment at the Seaboard Triumph Foods facility from at least September 2019 through September 2023, the statement said. Let's go to the law. It is illegal under U.S. law for anyone younger than 18 to work in a meat processing plant. Qvest must pay the fine and engage in, quote, oppressive child labor as per a court filing in the U.S. District Court for the Northern District. Sounds serious, right? Child labor, adverse conditions, child negligence, child abuse, endangering the welfare of a minor. The list goes on. This is a high crime if committed in your home, but if committed by a corporation, it becomes money. Money. Look at those years again. They're fined $171,000, but they had years of this kind of, I would call it forced labor. I'm sure the company is still winning in this equation. There's more. Seaboard Triumph Foods said in a written statement to NBC News that it was not accused of any wrongdoing, did not tolerate any vendor's use of underage labor, and, quote, had no evidence that underage individuals access the plants. It added, it has not used Qvest services for more than a year. Now, it is the second time a contractor has been caught employing children at the same facility. In May, Fayette Janitorial Services, LLC, agreed to pay nearly $650,000 for using almost 24 children at the same plant, at the Sioux City plant and at a Purdue Farms facility in Virginia. Fayette said in May that, hey, we no longer employ minors. Both Seaboard and Purdue Farms terminated their contracts with Fayette after the investigation. Child labor law violations are up overall. The department said that in 2024, the Wage and Hour Division found labor violations involving more than 4,000 children uncovered in 736 investigations, resulting in more than $15 million in fines, 89% increase on the previous year. So what do we have? We have an agency that's getting paid. All right, that's your governmental agency. They're not shutting down the plant. They're not arresting the individuals involved in the conspiracy to abuse these minors. Then some of them are just banking years of this kind of labor. I do find it quite ironic that you have a major company coming out and saying, hey, listen, we didn't have any idea. We didn't know that this company was doing this. You see, that's not actually the defense. The defense would be that you employed protocols in order to check the safety standards of the company you employed. And while you may have some level of plausible deniability because, well, it's a contractor, and who are you to know exactly what your contractor does? Major companies all over this country, they've been held accountable for not implementing the proper protocols in order to know the safety standards of the contractors they hire. But for some reason, this company twice has been able to get away with plausible deniability. Wise, it seems like folk don't care about the children here. What say you?
I mean, it's funny because that's what everybody claims to care most about
Yeah.
in this country. And to what you were saying, honestly, Dr. Richey, not knowing is even worse, in my opinion. If
Yep.
you are at the very top and you don't know that these kinds of practices are happening, or the people who are contracted to you, the people who work for you, know that heads would roll if you ever found out, and therefore would never do something like this, to me, that speaks even worse of you as being the top of the organization. This idea of ignorance, it's not an excuse. Not knowing is much worse than knowing and letting it happen. It shows incompetence. It shows that you don't deserve to be at the helm of this operation. That goes without saying. And I think this whole thing just speaks to an even greater sort of problem that we're having in our country at the moment, especially as it pertains to work, and the lack of what people would feel like is dignified work. Just the idea that you could hire kids for some of these jobs instead of having them be jobs that grown people could take on and live meaningful lives with that salary, and have their own kids not have to even think about working, shows most of the problem with the working environment in our country right now. It used to be the case that you got a job, you could pay your rent, you know what I mean? You could buy as school supplies for your kid. Maybe if you needed a sitter one day, you could do it. If you wanted to go on a decently affordable vacation, you could do it. And everybody was fine with that. But we've sort of that sort of public contract that the business community used to have with the citizens of this country has been ripped up and is completely gone. And this should be a national story.
Yeah.
It's an outrage to have kids working in this type of job specifically. We ain't talking about stamp licking, y'all. Like, this is major freaking work, dangerous work. And we have children in these jobs. This is an outrage, utterly.
Love it. Love it. Keeping them accountable, dear brother. That's part of it. And when we say it should be a national story, it is now. And that's the reason we provide the light and we shine it bright. And once again, let's not forget the violation happened twice. Okay. That to me speaks culture.